Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's day and age, it seems the only people who haven't built a CNC machine are those who don't care or are limited in resources or motivation, which is a nice way of saying lazy. I can claim to be the latter only with respect to documenting the build process of my own machine. It's been several years and only now I am getting around to edit the footage and share it with the world in hopes that it may inspire someone to start their own or provide an idea maybe. Your support manifested in smashing the like button or even sharing this video or subscribing to this channel goes a long way in letting the algorithm know that this topic is in demand and that my work is appreciated. So let's get started. I have been preparing to build my CNC machine for years in advance, acquiring all necessary hardware a little bit at a time. Linear rails and aluminum plates and profile I bought used on eBay or dumpster dived for, including buying from scrap yards. However, some of the tools and tooling, including ball screws, I bought new. After searching for good used ball screws for quite some time, I just gave up on this idea because the available ones were either worn out or wrong size. I hope you already watched the servo motor unpacking video and possibly some of the shorts from the build time, and if you did, it's wonderful. In this video, I'm going to try and show in more details the making of my CNC machine. My good friend Michael approached me once with a project he wanted done. It's the figurine that he carved a long time ago. He had it 3D scanned and brought me the file to be machined. He knew I was hoarding CNC parts and asked if I finished the build yet. I told him I haven't even started. "Why don't you start?" he said, and that became my inspiration and the drive to start and finish it. First task at hand was to liberate the linear rails from their past life, carefully removing fasteners and giving them a good refreshing cleanup. The design of this machine was somewhat purposeful, dictated by its first project and limited by the available hardware. I did not make a 3D model of it. I just drew a chicken scratch of a sketch and started to make chips and aluminum sawdust, starting with the XY connection plate. After cutting it to rough, oversized dimensions, next is squaring up the plate using the biggest tool in my garage shop, the vertical mill. And yes, I'm using a good old tape measure to cut it close to size, as the outer dimensions of this plate are not critical. Here I reclamped the plate at 90 degrees in the vise and using the dial indicator to make sure it is still square before trimming the other two sides. This piece of aluminum will be the connecting point between Y and Z axis rails, but to be more precise, the carriage blocks. I found it's well worth the time to spot drill for the holes first if you aim at any resemblance of precision, then use the spiral drills. Half a day later, we have this beautifully executed piece of junk work with all the holes drilled and some of them countersunk, all with reasonable precision. Wait, what? You see that? There is not enough room for linear bearings. The countersunk holes don't line up with linear bearing mounting holes. Oh boy, maybe I should have 3D modeled it after all. As a quick fix, I drilled a new set of holes to make the carriages fit next to each other. Later, I'll replace this plate with a new one made correctly. At this time, it feels very exciting because the machine is starting to take shape and the work process is starting to gain momentum. On second thought, why wait till later? Later is already here, and so is the newly made plate. Notice there is only 4 countersunk holes because they are the only ones that need to be. Regular flat holes provide more adjustability, and I have a feeling we're gonna need as much of it as possible. Next, I make the Z-axis plate from 19 mm thick aluminum stock. This material used to be a piece of machine somewhere at some point. I guess it's not a huge upgrade for it other than stop being useless scrap and start a new life as part of my precious CNC machine. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but I like my quiet time of reflection and appreciation. It helps to boost my motivation. This is the Y-axis plate, also made from 19 mm aluminum. When complete, it will be attached to aluminum profile from the back for increased stiffness. But for now, I'm just making the sides straight and parallel using the vertical mill. Did I say it's my favorite tool in my shop? The time has come to start thinking about axis movement. I need to design and implement the mounting system for the ball screws and nuts. The Y-axis is the most difficult one to add the drive system to because of the long pocket I had to mill to clear the ball nut. But in the end, it's a reason to be proud of because how well everything fits together. Just look at that clearance. It's a great success. The ball nut brackets are made out of 25 mm thick aluminum flat bar. My design calls for various mounting heights, so custom brackets are non-negotiable. And again, the mill is the perfect tool for this task. Having it makes life so easy when building something as complex as this project. Here, I'm using the circular pattern function on the DRO. I set it up for 8 equally spaced holes, and I am skipping the 2 holes which would be close to the middle of long edges of the bracket. If you're still here, I can't thank you enough, and pretty sure you did the right thing by now. If not, there's still time. Stay tuned for the next video of this series. Bye!